5 mistakes that I made as a debut indie author that I'm going to tell you about so you don't have to. Number 1 was I set up a website way too soon. And now I kind of go back and forth on if I should even have started up the website because the website I'm paying for it in the first place. It's like in all my branding and everything now, so I feel I can't take it away. So my first book came out in September of 2022, and I set up my website in December of 2021. If I was selling books on my website and doing stuff like that, that would be great, but I basically paid for an entire year of a website that I did not need yet. And so I would advise you to like wait until the book comes out or use a free alternative or something until you're to a point where you're like, I can, I can pay for this now. Like I can justify the payment for it, but don't set it up way too soon. It's just an extra expense that I kind of feel like I can't get rid of now. Number 2 is I did not send out enough ARCs, and this was a huge mistake for me. ARCs are your very, very best friend as an indie author, and I can tell you right now that if I could go back, I would still look through them and vet them, but I would probably send out as many ARCs as people that applied for them. Why? Because number 1, people love ARCs. They want to know what's coming out. What is this? They want to be able to read. They want to be able to help the author. ARC readers are pretty amazing. And I did not do that. I had an ARC form and I thought it was going to be so cool and I was going to send out physical ARCs, and I only had so many. So as soon as I got that many applications, I just closed the application and it was done. I didn't do any e-ARCs, which is wild to me now. That was a huge mistake. So especially if you're writing a series, send out as many as you can. If they're interested, like, hey, because if they like it, then they're probably going to go on to read the next one. But they may, if they don't have that initial, jump into it of like, oh, I want to try this. I want to try this for free. I want to help this author out. I mean, I see authors sending out hundreds, and I wish that I would have done that before because it really messed it up. But yeah, definitely send out as many ARCs as you can, because your biggest opponent is exposure, and that is a huge exposure. Even if some people don't go on to read the second book, that's still, hopefully if they're following through, that's reviews on Goodreads and Amazon, and it's just a huge help. Number 3 kind of goes along with that, is I sent out physical ARCs. Why did I do this? I have no idea. Maybe because I saw other authors doing it. I was like, oh, I want to be so cool. I want to send out physical ARCs. Like, that's awesome. Which I do agree that they are awesome. And I'm glad that I do have some readers that were able to receive them. But it is just not feasible at all for a little indie author to send out physical ARCs. It's just, and especially, like, I can't even do it now with shipping prices and just everything. It is astronomical. Shipping has, I think, almost tripled. When I sent out the ARCs for my first book, The Bloodfire, in the summer of 2022, I believe I paid like $2.45 or something to ship, and now it's over $5 to even send one book. Just absolutely insane. So just shipping alone, and then the cost to print the book, it's just not your friend. And that's awesome, and I love it for some people who can do it. And if you want to send out, like a couple, it's just, that's just basically you're saying this is cool and I want to do it. It's not feasible though when you're a little indie author, unless you're just making back a bunch of money once the book releases. Number 4 also has to do with ARCs. I have always joined up with hired book tour companies. There's a couple of them floating around on Instagram for my book releases and my cover reveals. And I've pretty much liked any of the ones I've always worked with. One of I believe it was for the cover reveal of The Bloodfire. I forget which company I worked with, but they had certain accounts that were bigger accounts that they wanted me to send physical copies to, which, I can understand wanting to do it, but I think I sent out like 9, and that's a lot. So I would not recommend doing that, just because the cost to print the books and get them to you and then ship them to someone else, I mean, it's honestly probably not even someone that's going to read the book. I don't know that anyone that I sent them to ever read the book. I don't remember who I sent it to, so I don't keep up with that or know or whatever. But it's almost just like a, thank you for doing this, here's this book, and then maybe it goes in the donation bin to somewhere else, and then you spent all this money to send it out. So if you're doing book tours, I would really stress to try to do only as many ebooks as you can. And I understand people want physical books, but when you're a little indie author and you're already paying for this book tour, that's just a lot of unnecessary costs you don't need to dump on yourself. So I always look for the book tours now that allow you to do ebook ARCs only that you send out to readers. And I would just steer clear. I know some do like international too. And yeah, I would not do that. International prices to ship books are really high. And I know because I had a giveaway winner in another country and it was very expensive. All right, so lastly, number 5, and this is mainly going to be if you're doing your own formatting. This is my debut book, The Bloodfire. It's an epic young adult fantasy series. This is my title page that I designed. It's like really cool, you know, fancy, got all the special designs. Yeah, it's awesome, except there's nowhere to sign my name. I mean, I could like kind of sign it across the top, and I know some people just like totally write over the names. That drives me absolutely insane. So I actually signed my book on the cover page right here, down here, because I don't like to sign over writings, and I would have like extended this and done different things. But yeah, if you're doing your own formatting, or if you want to mention to your formatter, because I looked at other books and I'm like, oh, there's lots of space here. Just be mindful that you have somewhere to sign your name. Because when I went to sign my first copy, I was like, where do I sign it? So that's just like a preference thing. But that's number 5. So those are 5 mistakes that I made when I published my debut book. If you're an author and you have other mistakes you've made, or if you know of other mistakes that other people have made and you want to share it below in the comments, I'm always interested. I'm always trying to learn what is the best route and what is the best thing to do. So I hope you enjoyed.